Have you ever felt a sudden shiver when a musical note is struck, or when the wind passes just the right way? That reaction happens because at your deepest level, you are not made of matter alone. You are made of vibration. Ancient Egyptian traditions spoke of a precise frequency known as the sound of Thoth, believed to realign human perception with the original harmony of nature. Once guarded by a select few, this knowledge is now resurfacing as a path toward balance in the modern world. In this video, we won't stay in theory. You'll be guided through a direct sound practice, allowing you to experience how vibration can reorganize your inner state. This is not something to be understood intellectually. The proof arrives through sensation, through resonance in your own body. Together, we'll explore how this ancient technology can dissolve mental noise and reveal a clarity you may have never felt before. Before we begin, pause for a moment. If silence had a sound for you today, would it feel peaceful or uneasy? Share that sensation in the comments. I want to meet you exactly where you are. Everything that exists is vibration. Forget the idea of a silent beginning. The universe emerged through sound. Egyptian legends describe Thoth, a divine force who shaped reality using only his voice, speak in sacred words that brought the cosmos into form. This is more than myth. It points to a forgotten understanding. That sound is the source code of reality itself, a truth long obscured yet now ready to be remembered. The idea that frequencies can organize matter is not mysticism. Modern science through cymatics proves that sound creates perfect geometric patterns from chaos. What you perceive as solid matter is in fact an extremely slow vibration. The possibility that humanity has already mastered this creative frequency is not a fantasy. It is a dangerous truth that has been suppressed. Consider the implications. If a sound can create, it can also destroy. Knowledge of a master frequency that manipulates reality would be the most powerful tool in the world. The key to healing, infinite energy and transcendence, but also the ultimate weapon. This knowledge wasn't lost by chance. It was hidden by an elite who possess it and use it to maintain control. So why hide something so fundamental? Because a sound capable of altering reality would return power to your hands. We live immersed in constant chaotic noise, a distraction designed to prevent us from hearing the universe's background music. This noise is not accidental. It is a weapon to keep you asleep, disconnected from your true power. The power contained in that primordial sound is unimaginable. It can restructure matter, influence consciousness, and rewrite the rules of the game. If this knowledge were released, the power structures that govern the world would crumble. Now you understand why it was kept secret, but such a great secret cannot be kept forever. And that same power to create is also the power to heal. A voice that heals. If a voice can create galaxies, it can also heal the human body. Thoth's power was not only to create, but to restore harmony. The legend of the Eye of Horus, broken in battle and remade by Thoth, speaks not of surgery, but of vibrational realignment. He used his knowledge of universal laws to apply a corrective frequency, making the eye whole. Again, your body is an orchestra, and each cell vibrates at a specific frequency. Illness is merely a discordant instrument, a break in the harmony. Thoth's action symbolizes the application of a precise sound that forces the diseased part to remember its original note, restoring the balance of the whole. This is why the Eye of Horus has become the greatest symbol of health and protection, a diagram of perfect resonance. This healing technology based on frequencies returns power to the individual. You wouldn't need intermediaries, only the knowledge to generate the correct vibration. This represents a direct threat to a system that profits from your illness. The wisdom of Thoth has been suppressed and ridiculed so that you would forget the power you have over your own health. The wisdom of Thoth taught that the body heals itself when it is in tune. Illness is merely a sign that you have lost your natural frequency, and healing comes from removing internal dissonance. Imagine hospitals using resonance chambers instead of pills, treating depression with frequencies that restore joy. This is not fiction. It is a memory we have been forced to forget. In a world that profits from chaos, harmony becomes the enemy. The first strategy to defeat this power is to silence its voice. But suppression went a step further. They not only silenced the voice of healing, but replaced it with a constant dissonant noise designed to keep us sick and disconnected. If a sound can heal, the wrong sound can make you sick. What if our sonic reality has been subtly altered to keep us out of tune? The forbidden sound theory points to a specific change that affected the entire world: the standardization of musical tuning to 440 Hz. The official story speaks of technical convenience, but many researchers claim it was a deliberate act of vibrational sabotage. According to them, the natural frequency of the universe is 432 Hz, a vibration that resonates with the human heart and promotes peace. In contrast, 440 Hz is described as dissonant and irritating to the nervous system. The difference is only 8 vibrations per second, but at a cellular level, your body feels it. Constant exposure to this artificial frequency generates a subtle state of anxiety and agitation. Think about it. Almost all the music you listen to today is tuned to 440 Hz. We are bombarded by this dissonant frequency from birth. This noise pollution keeps us in a lower vibrational state, more prone to fear and anger. It's a form of mass control so subtle that most people never question it. A discordant symphony that prevents us from hearing our own harmony. Who benefits from this? The same forces that suppressed sound healing. Elites who understand vibrational warfare and know that controlling the frequency of a population is controlling its emotional state. Keeping humanity in a state of subtle imbalance is the most effective way to ensure that no one has the energy or clarity to question the system. It's the perfect prison because the prisoners don't know they're in it. What do they fear will happen if we return to 432 Hz? They fear we might remember, that we might rediscover our connection to the cosmos and awaken our dormant potential to heal and create. The 432 Hz frequency would be a key to accessing a higher state of consciousness, and that's why they locked it away. But what if there was an ancient manual that taught how to hack this system? The secret code on the emerald tablets. In the midst of this dissonant world, an ancient text resurfaces, promising the weapons to fight. The emerald tablets of Thoth. Not the short version, but a controversial one that describes a cosmic war fought not with weapons but with frequencies. On one side, the sons of light, guardians of harmony. On the other, the sons of Belial, dark beings who use dissonance to imprison human consciousness. The text functions as a manual for vibrational counterattack. It teaches that your only defense is your own personal frequency. Thoth instructs his followers to constantly raise their vibration through sounds and meditation, becoming an impenetrable shield. Dark forces simply cannot interact with someone who vibrates at a much higher octave than their own. The promise is clear. Your innate power to manipulate reality through sound has been suppressed so that you remain a slave. The tablets would be a cheat code for the game of life, a guide to hacking the vibrational matrix and regaining control of your frequency. It is the promise of total sovereignty, the key to rewriting your own destiny. The story gets even stranger. The tablets claim that Thoth built the Great Pyramid not as a tomb, but as a portal, an initiation device for the children of light to drastically raise their vibrations and strengthen themselves for battle. The pyramid would be a machine, a power amplifier designed to execute the teachings of the tablets. The conclusion is inescapable. If the tablets are the software, the pyramid is the hardware. If there is a code to hack reality and an ancient machine to execute it, the next question is obvious. How does this machine work? The search takes us from the pages of a mystical text to the sands of Egypt in search of a technology that defies everything we know. The search for this machine of power leads us to one of the most enigmatic places on the planet. Forget everything you were taught in school. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not a tomb. You don't build the most precise structure on the face of the earth, perfectly aligned with the cardinal points and the stars, using millions of stone blocks weighing tons just to bury a pharaoh. The absence of hieroglyphs and treasures in the main chambers has always been a nuisance to the official theory. The truth is that the pyramid is a machine, a lost technology. Researchers like Christopher Dunn, an engineer who has spent his life studying the pyramid with the precision of a machinist, have presented compelling evidence. He argues that the pyramid was designed as a power plant, but not a power plant that burns fuel, a power plant that converts the Earth's natural vibrations into energy. The entire structure would be an immense transducer, capturing the subtle tremors of our planet and transforming that mechanical energy into something else, into electrical energy, microwaves, or something we haven't even rediscovered yet. The heart of this machine would be the king's chamber. It wasn't built with local limestone, but with massive blocks of granite from Aswan transported hundreds of kilometers. And Aswan granite is extremely rich in quartz crystals. Quartz has a fascinating property called piezoelectricity. When you squeeze it or make it vibrate, it generates an electrical charge. Dunn's theory is that the entire pyramid was designed to resonate at a specific frequency, causing the granite of the king's chamber to vibrate intensely and generate an enormous amount of energy. And what about the famous sarcophagus inside the king's chamber? It's also made from a single block of granite. The official theory says it's a coffin, but it's too large to fit through the corridors. It had to be placed there while the pyramid was being built. Dunn and other researchers argue that it's not a coffin, but a sounding board, an amplifier. It would be the focal point of all the pyramid's vibrational energy, tuned to resonate in perfect harmony with the chamber, amplifying the sound to incredible levels. The pyramid is not a passive monument. It's a giant, dynamic musical instrument. This vision completely transforms our understanding of ancient Egypt. They were not just brilliant builders, they were masters of acoustic physics and vibrational engineering. They understood that frequency is the key to energy. The pyramid becomes a piece of advanced technology, a resonance machine built with a precision that many of our modern tools would struggle to replicate. It was not made for the dead, but for the living, a tool to be used. This brings us back to the central question. If the Great Pyramid is in fact a resonance machine, a vibrational power plant, what is the exact frequency it was designed to amplify? What note does this colossal instrument play? And more importantly, what effect would this specific vibration have on a person inside the king's chamber at the epicenter of this sonic storm? The answer to this question is not just a number. It is the key that connects the machine to its ultimate purpose, the forbidden chord of the pyramid. The answer we were looking for wasn't in ancient texts, but was measured with modern microphones. Acoustic engineers who were allowed to study the king's chamber made a chilling discovery. The room isn't acoustically dead. On the contrary, it's a near-perfect sounding board. When they played different sounds, they discovered that the chamber violently amplifies a specific chord, an F-sharp chord. It's not a random sound, but a precise musical harmony determined by the exact dimensions of the room built to sing that specific note. But the most shocking discovery came when they turned off all their equipment and simply listened. In complete silence, the microphones picked up a constant vibration, a very low-frequency hum permeating the chamber, an infrasound around 16 hertz. This frequency is right on the threshold of human hearing. Most people can't consciously hear it, but the body feels it. And modern science knows that exposure to infrasound in this range can induce altered states of consciousness, feelings of awe, fear, or the sensation of a presence in the environment. Where does this sound come from? The most widely accepted theory is that it is generated by the wind blowing through the narrow air shafts leading out of the pyramid, creating an acoustic phenomenon called Helmholtz resonance. Like the sound you make when you blow into the mouth of a bottle, the entire pyramid acts as a gigantic wind instrument, perpetually playing this 16 hertz note. The machine doesn't need to be switched on. It's always on, singing its silent song for thousands of years, waiting for someone with the right sensitivity to come in and listen. This changes everything. The pyramid would not merely be a power plant, but a psychotronic device, a machine designed not to power cities, but to tune human consciousness. The F-sharp chord and the 16 hertz infrasound would not be accidental byproducts, but the primary purpose of the structure. Ancient priests or initiates would enter the king's chamber to bathe in these frequencies, to force their brains into non-ordinary states of consciousness, to open portals in the mind. In this scenario, the sarcophagus becomes even more important. It would not only be an amplifier, but a tuning fork for focusing. The initiate would lie inside it, and the priests could use their own voices, singing in harmony with the chamber's chord, to activate the sarcophagus and the person inside. It would be a process of forced attunement, aligning the individual's brainwaves with the pyramid's fundamental frequency, which in turn was aligned with the vibrations of the earth and the cosmos. The pyramid reveals itself as a portal to other dimensions, but not a physical portal, a mental portal. The image that emerges is of an incredibly sophisticated technology that uses sound to interact directly with human biology and consciousness. The Egyptians weren't just moving stones. They were sculpting frequency itself. They created a sonic environment designed to induce transcendental experiences. But the ultimate question remains, how exactly does this 16 hertz frequency in the F-sharp chord interact with our bodies? What is the biological mechanism that allows a sound to alter our consciousness so profoundly? The answer lies in a small gland in the center of our brain, the sound that awakens the third eye, The bridge between the pyramid frequency and human consciousness is not a mystical concept, it's a biological fact. At the very center of our brain, there is a small pine cone-shaped gland called the pineal gland. Philosophers like Descartes called it the seat of the soul, and esoteric traditions know it as the third eye, the organ of spiritual perception. For a long time, modern science considered it a useless vestige of evolution, but recent discoveries have revealed something that completely changes the game. Scientists have discovered that the interior of the pineal gland is lined with tiny calcite crystals, and these crystals have exactly the same property as the quartz in the king's chamber, piezoelectricity. When these crystals are subjected to mechanical vibration, such as a sound wave, they generate an electric field. Your pineal gland is literally a biological radio antenna designed to convert ambient frequency waves into electrical signals that are sent directly to your brain. Now, connect the dots. The king's chamber of the Great Pyramid vibrates constantly at 16 hertz. You enter that chamber. This sound wave travels through the air, passes through your skull, and reaches your pineal gland. The calcite crystals inside it begin to vibrate at the same frequency, 16 hertz, and generate an electrical signal. Your pineal gland becomes a transducer, converting the forbidden sound from the pyramid into a language your brain can understand, activating neural circuits that are normally dormant. You're not just hearing a sound, you're having your biology hacked by it. Exposure to this specific frequency could literally awaken latent capabilities of the human mind. Extrasensory perception, enhanced intuition, out-of-body experiences, access to information from a collective field of consciousness. It wouldn't be magic, it would be physics. The piezoelectric activation of the pineal gland. Researchers who had the rare opportunity to spend time inside the sarcophagus reported experiences that defy logic. One of them, cymatics expert John Stewart Reed, saw the sand form perfect hieroglyphs when vibrated with vowel sounds and reported the spontaneous healing of a chronic back injury after 20 minutes of exposure to the chamber's resonance. The sound of Thoth, the pyramid frequency, is not merely an external vibration. It is the key that fits perfectly into the lock of our own biology. The pineal gland is the door and the sound is the password. This suggests that our bodies were designed to interact with these frequencies, that the awakening of the third eye is not a metaphor, but a biomechanical process that can be activated under the right conditions, a potential that has been kept secret, perhaps due to the calcification of the pineal gland through environmental toxins in our modern world. Finally, the puzzle is complete. Sound creates reality. A dissonant sound can keep us sick and imprisoned. A harmonious sound can heal. Ancient machines were built to amplify this sound, and our own bodies possess the antenna to receive it and awaken a divine potential. The secret was never in the pyramid stone, but in the crystal within our heads. But if sound is so important, the way we use it, our speech, must also have a hidden power. What if language itself were a form of magic? Thoth's knowledge went far beyond passive frequencies. He was the master of Heka, the Egyptian word for magic, which literally meant activating the ka, the life force, through speech. For the Egyptians, magic wasn't a trick. It was a precise science of the spoken word. For your soul to successfully navigate the afterlife, you needed to reach the state of Ma'at Keru, which translates as true voice. This wasn't a metaphor for being an honest person. It was a technical instruction. Your voice needed to vibrate in resonance with cosmic truth, with universal order. To possess the true voice meant that one's words had power, the power to influence matter, to command the elements, to heal and to protect. This sonic technology manifested itself through words of power, or heikau. These were not prayers or requests, they were commands. By pronouncing the correct word with the correct intention and the correct vibration, a trained priest could, according to them, impose his will upon reality. It was believed that the universe, being itself a creation of sound, was obliged to obey whoever mastered the language of creation. This idea of a primordial language where sound and meaning are inseparable did not die in Egypt. Linguistic researchers have found fascinating parallels between ancient Egyptian and West African dialects, such as those of the Dogon tribe of Mali, famous for their advanced astronomical knowledge. Words like Heika find direct echoes in other cultures, suggesting that this sonic knowledge spread secretly transmitted through lineages of initiates. The idea that speech can generate reality, the power of Nomo, is a central theme in many African traditions. This shows us that the basis of all this ancient science was the understanding that sound is the matrix behind the physical world. Imagine reality as a computer program. The matter we see is merely the graphical interface on the screen, but behind it there is a source code, the language of Thoth. The words of power would be the commands of this code. Whoever knew the language could rewrite the program, fix bugs, illnesses, or even create new elements on the screen, manifestation. The physical world would be a vibrational scaffold, and the human voice the means of interacting with it. This wisdom, which viewed language not as a means of communication, but as a means of creation, has been gradually obscured. It has been replaced by a materialistic worldview where words are merely empty labels and sound is just a disturbance in the air. We have lost awareness of the power we carry in our throats every day. Every word we speak is a vibration we send out into the universe, a spell we cast whether we know it or not. We speak without intention, without awareness, and then wonder why our lives are chaotic. The memory of a language capable of rewriting the code of reality, however, never completely disappeared. It survived in esoteric texts, in secret societies, and in shamanic traditions. The promise that we can recover this power has always been there, waiting for those who dare to listen beyond the noise of the modern world. But the question that haunts us is, how can we today, without the temples and rituals of ancient Egypt, without a master to teach us the secret words, access this true voice and begin to use language to create instead of merely describing our reality? The call of inner silence. We have seen that sound can create the universe, heal the body, and that this knowledge has been suppressed. We understand that we have been immersed in constant dissonance while machines like the Great Pyramid were built as sonic portals to interact with the pineal gland. The sound of Thoth has revealed itself to be a forgotten technology, a science of vibration that connects the cosmos, the pyramids, and human biology. The secret lies not only in listening, but in speaking. Language is a tool of creation, a sonic magic we have lost. The puzzle is complete. The sound of Thoth is not a myth, but a technology hidden in plain sight, disguised in the noise of our world. The key to unlocking this power is not in some distant place, but within you. The promise to make this sound now isn't about learning an ancient mantra. The real key is understanding that power isn't out there. The pyramid, the text, the frequencies are just maps. But the map isn't the territory. Real power emanates from you. It's not something you seek externally. The most powerful sound in the universe is not what you hear, but what you feel. The true voice of Thoth is not something you learn, but something you remember. It is your soul frequency, your unique vibrational signature, buried beneath layers of conditioning. The journey is not to find a lost sound, but to silence the noise and hear the sound you already are. This leads us to the final question. If the power is within me, how do I activate it? The question ceases to be what is the sound, and becomes how do I become the master of my own frequency? The answer is the climax of this journey where theory becomes power. It's time to stop learning about sound and start being the sound. We've reached the crucial point where everything that has been said transforms into a real experience. The forbidden sound of Thoth, the true voice, is not a frequency you need to seek in the outside world. It is the resonance of your own purest intention, the vibration of your consciousness when it is aligned with your purpose. It is the sound of your soul. To activate it, you don't need any special equipment, no complicated rituals. You only need a moment of stillness and your willingness to connect with your inner power. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted for a few minutes. Sit comfortably with your spine straight but relaxed. Close your eyes, not to escape the world, but to turn inward. Begin simply by breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, your abdomen, every cell of your body. Hold for a moment and exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing not only the air, but all the tension, all the worry, all the mental noise you carried during the day. Do this 3 times. Now that your body has softened and your mind has grown quiet, allow the sound to emerge. On your next exhale, don't simply release the breath, give it a voice. Let a continuous, gentle tone flow out naturally. There's no need to aim for a perfect pitch. It may take the form of Om or Om, ancient vibrations known for their power, or it may be nothing more than a low, comforting hum. And you feel resonating in your chest. Trust what feels most natural. That is the sound meant for you in this moment. The power lies not in precision, but in intention. As the sound flows, become aware of its vibration. Don't just listen, feel it. Sense it in your throat, expanding through your chest and rising into your head. Gently place your attention at the center of your forehead, the space associated with the pineal gland. If you've stayed with us until now, the frequency we activated is still echoing within your awareness. The clarity you're experiencing isn't coming from outside of you. It's the awakening of your own inner authority. To complete this experience, take a moment to notice what arose when the frequency settled, whether a physical sensation, an emotion, or a thought. Share your experience in the comments. Your truth strengthens and expands our community. If this activation resonated with you and you wish to support the continuation of this work, you'll find the contribution link pinned at the top of the comments. Every act of support helps carry this harmony forward. And if someone in your life could benefit from quieting the noise of their mind, share this video with them. Your next step is already waiting. Click the video on your screen now, and let's go deeper together.